Today's Namaste Yoga is another beginner class on Warrior II and side angle pose. Hello and welcome to episode 158 of Namaste Yoga. Thank you so much for joining us for another beginner class for beginners and those of us with beginners' minds. Today we will be working with Warrior II pose and side angle pose. It's a beautiful winter day here we're in Pickering, Ontario, which is just outside of Toronto, Ontario today. And this will be our last Namaste Yoga of the year and our last Namaste Yoga for the next couple of weeks in Canada because we're heading off to Florida for a couple of weeks in the sun. Yay! And hopefully my hands will not be freezing the next time I record a Namaste Yoga. And we will hopefully have some really beautiful locations to share Namaste Yoga with you over the next couple of weeks from beautiful sunshiny Florida. Thank you for leaving your 5-star ratings and testimonials on iTunes. There are instructions on how to do that at thankyoumelissa.com. And today I want to share a testimonial that I received from Angie. She says, "Thank you for providing your free yoga podcast. I stumbled upon these whilst recovering from glandular fever and looking for a restorative practice to regain my health. I've been following along with your yoga classes every day for roughly a month and can say that the physical, mental, and spiritual improvements I have undergone have enriched my life. I was particularly moved by the Shiva Letting Go class. This really resonated with me and has helped me come to terms with the sudden loss of a dear friend this year. I didn't realize how much sorrow, anxiety, and stress I was carrying in my body and mind. I feel renewed and peaceful. You're a gifted teacher, and thank you again, Angie." So thank you so much for these. They always touch my heart, and I love to hear from you. Thank you also to our sponsors. Thank you to Squeezed Yoga Clothing at www.squeezed.ca. This morning I'm wearing a long sleeve bamboo top with a dancing Ganesh design on it and long yoga pants with a little lotus design on the pants. And also thank you to our props sponsor, Dusky Leaf. I've got a yoga mat that I'm using today, and also I carried all my stuff in my big yoga bag. I've got my strap and my bamboo blocks and got my snack in there and my tennis ball, lots of stuff in there. Okay, so let's get to our class for today. I know that you guys like to know what to expect in the class, so let me tell you what to expect in today's class. So in today's class, we will begin as we have in the other beginner classes, lying down on your back in Shavasana. And this is a way of changing your focus from being scattered and pointed in multi-directions and your attention pulled in all directions to focusing inward and putting your attention on one thing. And in the other beginner classes, we have focused on your breathing and grounding and letting go of muscular tension. And today's class, we will turn your attention inwards by using a story to bring your attention inwards. So using a story is another way that you can bring your mind to a singular pointed focus. And it will start to put your attention on the pose that we'll be focusing on today. So in today's class, our peak pose is Warrior II pose, and the story relates to Warrior II pose. And today's class is kind of a continuation from last week's class, episode 157, when we worked with Warrior I and Warrior III, and we used all those Dan Millman quotes, which is basically a modern day retelling of a classic yoga text called the Bhagavad Gita. And today we'll actually go to the classic historical yoga text, the Bhagavad Gita, and tell the story of the Bhagavad Gita and the warrior pose so that you'll know where that story comes from originally. So you'll lie back on your pose in Shavasana, and after that you'll get a chance to set your intention for your practice. And then you'll start to prepare your body for your peak poses, which today are side angle pose and Warrior II, as I mentioned. So in Warrior II, you'll need to have your hips open, and you'll need to have a strong back. So what we'll do is release your hips, and also we'll do some poses to help prepare your back so that they're strong enough to hold your arms up. So a lot of times people's arms get very sore in Warrior II pose because they use the strength of their shoulders to hold their arms up rather than the strength of their backs. And if you use the strength of your shoulders are much weaker than your backs. So I will teach you how to use the strength of your backs to hold your arms up, which you could hold your arms up all day long if you use your back muscles. So that's really great. We will also spend some time opening up our side bodies so that it's easy to bend sideways in side angle pose. Also, we'll prepare your legs with some chair pose so that you're bending into your glutes, your strong muscles, rather than into your knees, the weak knee joint. So safer ways to do these poses. They take your weight into your strong muscles rather than your weak joints. So once your body is sufficiently prepared, you'll do your peak poses. And then after your peak poses today, we'll finish again with happy baby pose, since we got a lot of positive feedback from that on the comments on YouTube last week. And the shape of Warrior I is similar to the shape of Warrior II, so your body's all set up for that, and we'll finish with happy baby pose again. After that, we'll finish your practice with Shavasana again as a way to integrate your whole practice. So that's what's up for today, and we'll get you to lie back now in Shavasana to start by receiving the story to prepare your body for your yoga practice. So lie down on your back with your feet a comfortable distance apart, hip width apart. And if your low back is uncomfortable, then bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor. Tuck your tailbone under so that your pelvis is flat on the floor. Tuck your shoulder blades under so that your shoulders rest flat. Check in with the back of your neck so that your chin and forehead are on the same level. And then take a deep breath in through your nose and let it fall out of your mouth. The warrior poses are about the great warrior prince Arjuna at the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, one of the great texts of yoga, as he is about to go into battle against friends and family to defend his older brother's claim to the ancient throne of the Kurus. It is Krishna who consoles and instructs Prince Arjuna, the warrior. Arjuna wants to win the throne for his brother, who is the rightful heir to the Kuru dynasty and who has endured many wrongs. But in order to win the throne, Arjuna must fight his own uncle, his revered teachers and elders who guided Arjuna and his brothers when they were young, and even a blind king. He is, of course, dismayed at the prospect of fighting his own friends, family, and people that he holds dear to his heart. The battle presented in the Bhagavad Gita is an allegory, the struggle that all of us continually fight internally between our higher self and lower self, between our divine self and our ego. In the story, Krishna is a symbol of Arjuna's deepest self. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches Arjuna karma yoga, the yoga of action. Action based on wisdom and detached from outcome. In today's class, we will focus on Warrior II pose. This pose gives us a moment to pause, to stand in the present moment and collect all our wisdom from the past while creating a vision for our future. Growing out of Warrior II pose, we will bend into side angle pose. Sometimes life throws us the most mean curveballs, and these are our greatest struggles. Sometimes our greatest struggles form us into the people we become. So as you rest back here, begin to form your intention for your practice today. Now that you know a bit about the context of the Bhagavad Gita and what the warrior poses are about, what is it that you want to receive from your yoga practice today? What does it mean to you to practice or to be about to practice the warrior poses today? Or Warrior II anyway. So hopefully that story gave your mind something that it could focus on as you rested here. And when you feel ready, you can begin to wiggle and stretch out, but stay lying on your back, because we're going to begin by stretching out your hips to begin to prepare for Warrior II pose and side angle pose. Lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. And then take your left leg and cross it over the top of your right thigh, your ankle over the top of your right thigh. Open your left knee out to the side. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Reach your left arm through the space between your leg. Hold on behind your right leg and draw your knee in towards your chest until you feel a stretch on the outside of your left leg and into your left glute. Let your shoulders stay relaxed and heavy here. Breathing nice, long, slow, deep breaths. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks to Arjuna a lot about karma yoga. That is the yoga of action. And in the story, he encourages Krishna to act like the warrior that he is, because that is his duty, to be a warrior. And to renounce the fruits of his actions, to do the best possible job he can without being attached to the outcome of his actions. So not to be attached to the glory of being a warrior, but also to not shirk from his duty of being a warrior. So in this story, inaction is not a choice that Krishna can take. So lower your leg down, uncross your left leg, and then you'll switch sides. So go ahead and cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. Open your right knee out to the side, and then draw your left leg in. Reach your right hand through and hold on the back of your left leg. And if you can't reach, you can always use a yoga strap here. So this is a really important lesson, because when the going gets tough in our life, it's really tempting to go find a cave in India and retreat and become a yogi and meditate for the rest of your life. But what the Bhagavad Gita teaches us is that inaction is not really a choice. We have to stay in action in our lives. We have to perform our duties as mothers, as in whatever vocation we have in our communities. This is the life of yoga. This is karma yoga. And so that's what's so cool about the Bhagavad Gita, is that it's the yoga of action, and it's not the life of ascetics. It's the life of everyday people. It's the yoga of everyday people. We don't retreat from life. We live life to the fullest. And then go ahead and release your legs down. Bend both your knees, place your feet flat on the floor, and then you're going to roll to your right side and come up onto all fours for cat pose. Okay, so you're going to come on all fours and place your hands underneath your wrists and your knees underneath your hips. Spread your hands really wide so that you're reaching out into the webs of your hands, so that you take the weight out of your wrists. And from here, you're going to do cat pose to the side today, so that you're opening up your side body in preparation for side angle pose. So just keep your hips facing the front of your mat and walk your hands over to the side, and then exhale, round up through your back, and inhale and arch through your back. Breathe out, round through your back. And breathe in and arch through your back. Breathe out, round out through your back. Drop your head, drop your tailbone. Breathe in, lift your head and tailbone up towards the ceiling. And we'll do 2 more like that. Breathe out, round up through your back. And Breathe in and arch through your back. And then walk your hands back to the center. Keep your hips facing the front of your mat. And go ahead and walk to the other side. And breathe out, round up through your back. And breathe in and arch through your back. Breathe out, round up through your back. Breathe in, arch through your back. Breathe out, round up through your back. Breathe in, arch through your back. Breathe out, round up through your back. And come back to the center. And then we're going to go back down onto your stomach on the ground. So I'm just going to take my long sleeve shirt off. Okay, so you're going to come down onto your stomachs. And this exercise we're going to do is to prepare you for Warrior II pose so that you strengthen your back muscles and rhomboid muscles. Actually, so that you can feel your rhomboid muscles and know where they are, the muscles between your shoulder blades, so that when you come up to a Warrior II and hold your arms in the air, you know how to engage those muscles rather than using your shoulder muscles. So what you're going to do is rest your forehead on the ground and take your arms straight out to the side. And then you're going to roll your shoulders back and up so they're in line with your back. And then you're going to draw your shoulder blades together and lift your arms off the ground so they're parallel to the ground. And feel those muscles between your shoulder blades. Those are your rhomboid muscles. And those are the muscles that I want you to use to hold your arms up in the air when we come up and do Warrior II, not your shoulder muscles. So feel how that's your back working here. And breathe, nice, long, slow, deep breath. We'll try this from a few different positions, actually. This is a good one, though. And then lower your arms down. Take your hands under your shoulders and push yourself back up onto all fours. And from here, we'll do another exercise to find your core strength in your back muscles. So place your hands underneath your hips. No, you're not going to put your hands underneath your hips. You're going to put them underneath your shoulders. And then you're going to lift up through your pelvic floor. Draw your navel back towards your spine. You're going to reach your right foot back towards the back of your mat, and then you're going to reach your left foot back towards your mat for plank pose to feel your core muscles, and you'll feel your back muscles too. Keep your ears back over your shoulders. You may even want to come up onto fists if your wrists are bothering you. Elbow creases should face each other here. Your back should be as flat as a board here. And then lower your knees and sit your butt back on your heels and reach your arms forward. Rest your forehead down to the mat. And rest. Okay, now tuck your toes under behind you, and we're going to roll all the way up to standing now. So come onto your toes and roll up to standing. Okay, from standing, let's prepare your body for side bend a little bit more. So stand with your feet underneath your hip bones, lift and spread your toes, reach your legs long down into the ground. Lengthen up through your spine. Inhale, take your arms overhead. And then exhale, bend to one side, opening up your side body, bending your spine to one side. Reach down through your left foot as you bend to your right side. And then inhale, come back up to the center. And exhale, bend over to your left side. Reach down through your right foot. Keep your right shoulder open. Breathing. And then inhale back up. And exhale, lower your arms down. Okay, let's try that idea of lifting your arm muscles up, holding your arms up with your back muscles rather than your shoulder muscles again by doing another exercise to help you find your rhomboid muscles. Okay, this one you're going to take your legs wide on your mat with your toes pointing forward. And you're going to inhale. Exhale, you're going to roll your pelvis over your leg bones and lift and spread your sit bones behind you. Okay? And your hamstrings are probably going to be tight because you're beginners and we didn't spend any time stretching them out. So just come to whatever position you can comfortably where your pelvis stops rolling. Okay, and then what you're going to do is take your arms, let them dangle in front of you, and then take your arms straight out to the side and bring your shoulder blades together behind you and feel your back muscles lifting your arms up. Keep your ears back over your shoulders. And use your back muscles to hold your arms up, not your shoulders. And then inhale, come up. Okay, and then turn your palms down and feel how it's your back muscles holding your arms up, not your shoulder muscles. So open your chest and feel your back muscles working here. Great. And then lower your arms down. Good. And bring your feet together. And then one more pose to prepare us for our peak poses, Warrior 2 and Side Angle pose. This is one that we did last week as well, so that you can take your pose into your strong muscles, your glutes, your big butt muscles, rather than your weak knee joints, okay? So this is chair pose, so you can face the front of your mat. Take your arms out in front of you. Pull your shoulders back. Inhale here. And exhale, you're going to sit back as though you're sitting down into a tiny kindergarten chair behind you. And feel how you're using your big glute muscles. Sit back into your heels. Lift your toes even. Feel how you're using your glute muscles here, that you're bending here at your hip joint, not into your knees, okay? So that when you bend in Warrior Two and inhale, come up and down with me, okay? So you feel this, that the action is happening here, that the lever action is happening here. Remember your science class, or if you're a mom and you help your kids with their science projects now, and the lever, okay, the lever is here. Forget this lever, okay? Think of the lever here in your body, okay? So that when we come into doing the bending in Warrior Two, think of the bend happening here, okay? Hinge! Oh my goodness! Failed that science project. Thank goodness I was in the arts. My PhD's in the arts, not in the sciences. Okay, sit back. Hinge, hinge, hinge. Okay, yep, the hinge is here. Oh goodness. You knew what I meant. Okay, so come on up. I think it's about time for that peak pose, don't you? Yes, come to the front of your mat. Let's do Warrior Two. So stand at the front of your mat. Take a big step about one of the lengths of your legs back with your left leg. Okay, so if you're a woman, you're going to line up heel to heel. If you're a man, you're going to line up heel to arch. Your back foot's going to be turned in on about a 45-degree angle. And then what you're going to do is, remember, it's this joint that's more stable. The glutes are stronger, so you're going to hinge from this joint, sink here. Your hips are going to face the long edge of your mat. And you're going to bring your arms up so that they're parallel to the ground. So remember, you're going to use your back muscles to hold them up, not your shoulders. So there's Warrior Two pose. So here's Arjuna's time for reflection, drawing all his wisdom from the past with your arm behind you, standing in the present moment and creating a vision for the future. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna has Krishna in the present moment giving him all his advice and helping him plan for his future. Teaching him karma yoga. He also teaches him bhakti yoga and jnana yoga, the yoga of love, the yoga of wisdom. Not about levers and hinges, no. Okay, from here we're going to come into side angle pose. So bend your right arm, lower it to your right leg. And you're going to swoop your left arm around in front and side bend. And so sometimes in life you have to bend. Life doesn't go always the way you planned. And so you have to bend your plan a little bit sometimes. Okay, and then find a way to let this posture out of your body. Shake it out a little bit. Whew. I feel the strength of the warrior in my body. So let's do that pose on the other side. So I'm going to stand at the other side of my mat, so I'm still facing you. Take a big step back with your right foot. Turn your hips so they face the long edge of your mat. Sink down through your left sit bone. And bring your arms up to parallel to the ground. Use your back muscles. So roll your shoulders back and down. Find those rhomboid muscles. Look over your left fingertips. Roll your left knee out so you can see your big right toe. And then lower your left elbow to your left knee. Circle your right arm around in front. So your right arm comes by your right ear for side angle pose. And then find a way to let this pose fall out of your body. Okay, great. And then we're going to come down onto our backs for happy baby pose. So on your back, you're going to draw your knees in towards your chest. Reach your feet up towards the ceiling. Hold on to the outside edges of your feet. Draw your knees towards your shoulders. And you're going to be happy like a baby. Ananda Balasana. And then find a way to let this posture out of your body. And you can come into Shavasana. And in Shavasana, I have a reading from the Bhagavad Gita for you. So stay resting back. If you can make yourself even more comfortable, you go ahead and do that now. Karma Yoga, the active path of selfless service. One who shirks action does not attain freedom. No one can gain perfection by abstaining from work. Indeed, there is no one who rests even an instant. All creatures are driven to action by their own nature. Those who abstain from action while allowing their mind to dwell on sensual pleasure cannot be called sincere spiritual aspirants. But they excel who control their sense through the mind, using them for selfless service. Fulfill all your duties. Action is better than inaction. Even to maintain your body, Arjuna, you are obliged to act. Selfish action imprisons the world. Act selflessly without any thought of personal profit. Gradually allow your breath to deepen. Start to invite movement back into your body. Wiggle and stretch out. Bend your knees. Roll to your right side. Slowly make your way up to sitting. Thank you for joining me for episode 158 of Namaste Yoga. I'll see you on the membership site, and I will see you next week from sunny Florida. Namaste.